Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the Devils Lair. I am Randy Meadows.
And I am Todd Gann.
And it's episode 3 this week. We've got a little bit going on in the past week. We went in and played Valdosta. Or Valdosta came to us and played us.
Valdosta came to Tiff County, played Tiff County.
Yeah. Valdosta's good. We kind of thought they would be.
And they were.
And they were.
That's right. Big crowd on hand again. Of course, I thank everyone for coming out and supporting the Blue Devils, and was a hard-fought game once again. Tiff County did not give up. Played all 4 quarters.
Certainly.
Wound up a little short again this week, Randy.
Yeah. Well, again, we've won 2 games this year, and honestly, that's a lot better off than I really expected us at the beginning of the season. A lot of uncertainties, and there's still some enigmas out there that we're trying to figure out. So every week, though, it seems like we're getting better some kind of way in some aspect, in some area of the game.
That's right.
And it's a work in progress, and we all know that. And that's why we're here, because we're going to maintain that positive attitude, and we're going to keep things going on the up and up with Tiff County football and Tiff County athletics in general. So the thing about athletics, though, is they tend to thrive around the football program.
They do. That drives.
And that's good. I mean, everybody loves football.
Oh, that's right. And it drives a lot of other sports. A lot of things come out of football, and
that's right.
It's a catalyst for a lot of different things.
It certainly is. So that's why we're here. And if you want to get involved and sponsor the show, we've got information at the bottom of the screen down here. Phone numbers 313-718-2557. Be glad to get you hooked up with some sponsorship and get your name out there along with us, and it's a good program that promotes Tiff County athletics and our kids, and we got a bright future going on with this show, and it'll help promote your kids, and kids love seeing themselves on TV as much as,
and that's what this is about, Randy. It's
right.
about the kids. That's it. And as you alluded to, still trying to put a lot of pieces of the puzzle together. It's a big puzzle.
Yeah, it's a real big puzzle. That's right.
But we're getting closer every week. One of the things to kind of take away from last week's game, Tiff County didn't have any penalties last week. So
0, none, absolutely none.
When that yellow flag doesn't come out against you, you got to feel good about that.
That's right.
So you're doing something right.
That's exactly right. And that again, we talked about it last week. That is a positive, very, very positive thing for our kids and our program, man. Just being disciplined, just being out there and having that attitude of, we're going to do this right and we're going to behave and get it done.
That's right. A lot of times, as you well know, those flags come out from just a simple mistake.
That's right.
So that tells you you're not making some little mistakes that a lot of folks do.
That's exactly right, man. The little small things is what matters.
That's right.
We always want to keep in mind the big picture around here, and that, again, that's the focus of this show, big picture and promoting our kids.
That's right.
It's all tied in together. It's all about the T.
All about it.
And that's what we're about. So, anyways, Valdosta came in, put it on us a little bit. What was the final?
42-7.
Yeah.
42-7.
There were some positive things happening in that game. Go ahead. I'll let you summarize the game for us.
Well, it was tough. We I think we actually wound up at halftime down, I think, about 35-7. Our points did come in the first half of the game. We were able to, get a few first downs. That's something that we haven't seen in the last week or two, and we're able to do that. So we're able to move the ball. Rashad Daniels had another good game. I think for the season he's over 1,000 yards now. So, that tells you a little something about our team right there. You got a running back.
That's phenomenal.
It is. You look at our record and you think a kid, can rush over 1,000 yards with the record we've got. You think, I can't have it, but it has. So that's a good positive note right there. So
that's right.
Still, our passing game, we're still working on that from week to week. Had Michael Hancock start as quarterback this week, so had a new starting quarterback and played a little while, and then brought Chris Miller in during the game, and he finished the game out for us. But I think that's one of the things Coach Reed is trying to do is just make sure he's got the right personnel, and as the saying goes, get the right people on the bus. He's trying to make sure they're sitting in the right seat on the bus.
That's right. That's exactly right. A great analogy right there. when I heard that Hancock was in the game, I was shocked. I was like,
Oh,
really?
yeah. You know,
And I was
sophomore.
Like, okay. Yeah, he's a sophomore, young. But the more I thought about it, man, the more I said to myself, you know what? It's a testament to what Coach Reed's doing, because he's putting kids in there. He's giving them a chance.
He's giving them a chance. He's testing them.
That's right. I mean, they're going to come next year. They're going to be that much better and much prepared.
That's right. That's exactly
better
right.
prepared.
You know, and you got to think down the road. You know, you're going to be losing Chris Miller. You're going to, you know, I think he is a senior this year, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so.
And then, of course, Wedgeworth is a junior. And, you know, Coach Reed's thinking down the road, too. He's not just thinking about this season. Big picture, like you just said. He's thinking down the road already.
Yeah, a kid who's you know, from Tifton, he hasn't come in from elsewhere. You know, Valdosta's a big rival for us. Valdosta's a big rival for everybody.
Oh, yeah.
And some people argue, well, you know, they beat our butt every time they come in here. Are they really a rival? Yeah, I mean, they are. They are. They're the winningest program in the country, and you want to beat them anytime you play them to get that notch on your belt. And, you know, that's a big spot for this sophomore quarterback they're coming into. So,
that's exactly right.
Kudos to him, man.
I
you know,
agree, yeah.
a lot of people would have crumbled up.
That's right.
And you know, he held his own for a little while.
He did. He really did.
You know, made things happen.
That's right. You know, I'm sure as a sophomore going into a big game like that, you got to have some butterflies there in your stomach, and I'm sure he did. But he came in and held his composure, and you know, did a pretty good job.
Well, good. I'm glad. So. Tiff did have its woes. Late in the first quarter, Tiff was driving down in Valdosta territory, and Rashad coughed the ball up, and Valdosta recovered.
Right.
You know, didn't have a penalty, but that was a mistake. I mean, it happens, man. The kid touched the rock that many times, he's going to fumble the ball.
Exactly,
you know?
Especially at high school.
That's right. He's just a kid.
That's right.
And nothing I hate worse than people being so hard on these kids in the stands, because they are kids.
They are kids.
That's right.
Exactly right. A lot of folks kind of lose sight of that.
That's exactly right, man. We expect them to be like Saturday afternoon and Sundays, and they're not. They're kids. They're high school kids. So, you know, but he did have 111 yards. And that, like you said, over 1,000 on the season. Probably the last 1,000-yard rusher we had was Kareem Hess, I would imagine.
Probably so. Mm-hmm.
And you know, kudos to him and to the offense for helping him in the O-line. I'm sure he'll give praise to them.
Absolutely.
And it was pretty good. So also I want to talk about we lined up on 4th down and faked a punt.
We did.
And unfortunately, we threw it to a receiver who dropped the ball, and that's been a little bit of an issue this year also. But there again, we're young. Eventually, these kids are going to learn how to catch the football, and we're going to, you know, it's going to be different. So, you know, a big difference.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and I've never coached football, never played football, so I don't profess to be a football expert. But I don't know how you teach a kid to catch a football. I think it's just something that you either have it or you don't.
Yeah.
You know, and
that's right. I mean, it just takes repetition.
It takes repetition. That's exactly right.
Some people can catch it, and some people have stone hands. Some people have alligator arms. I mean, you know, you have that. So
you do. So it's, but I'm sure they're going to keep working on it. And
we have had a long line of wide receivers come out of Tiff County, man. Just for years, we've had really good wide receivers, and you know, we'll have somebody step up.
We will. I agree. I totally agree on that.
As a matter of fact, I think this week's the week we're going to have a receiver have a big game. We need one in the worst way.
You know, and I think we've talked about it, but you know, one week you're going to have one of those weeks that everything clicks.
That's right.
And this week's going to be that week.
This week's that week. So, not to take anything away from Valdosta, Shelby Wilkes, their QB, went 10 for 14 with 244 yards with 3 touchdowns. They have a 3-headed backfield in Nelson Herring, Malcolm Joseph, and Tim McLean.
Mm-hmm.
Herring went for 54 yards, Joseph for 46, Tim McLean for 32. They combined for 134 yards. You know, they had 3 guys for 134. We had one for 111. So pat yourself on the back, Rashad. You did a great job.
That's exactly right.
Alex Kaysen had a big game, catching a couple of passes for 109 yards, and both of them were for touchdowns for the Wildcats. So, you know, we're young, we're growing, we're making things happen. So,
and kudos to Valdosta. I mean, they were able to mix their offense up, you know, and kept our defense on their toes all night. And when you know, come in and mix it up like that, you know, it's going to be a tough game for you defense.
Oh, certainly. Our score came on a Chris Miller touchdown pass to Bo Bargeron.
Exactly.
And Bo's having a pretty good year.
He's having a great year. He really has.
He's catching the ball a little bit.
He is. You know, good kid, good solid kid.
Excuse me.
He's come into football and done real well, and of course he wrestles too, and he's done well wrestling. Just a good all around kid.
Yeah, it's funny how these wrestlers are cross pollinated. I guess is the word, hybrid.
Wrestling's a good sport.
It is. It's a wonderful sport. So
it's that season.
Get your kid involved. So, anyways, I think it was it 28-7 at halftime is what
I believe that's right.
And we kind of come out and Rashad ran the ball well the second half, obviously, and we still just kind of fell flat in a few places and whatnot. And obviously, receiving's going to be an issue until somebody steps up.
And when you go in 28-7 at half, you're still in the game.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You still got 2 quarters of football left, so you're still in the game at that point. And we came out and never could really put anything together, and fell a little short, but overall still a good game. Guys never gave up, like I said earlier, and they played all 4 quarters.
Well, as I do every week, what impressed you most about Valdosta?
I once again I kind of go back to their offense, the way they were able to mix it up. Between the run and the pass, they did a real good job of that. Kept Tifton on their toes, and they don't have a lot of flash to them, but they just get the job done. They just good, solid offensive team.
Okay, what on the flip side, what is the biggest flaw they have, I guess, if they have one?
Well, really they're solid, offensive and defense. They're a solid team. I was kind of shocked at some of the penalties they had. Once again, some mistakes that you wouldn't necessarily think they would make.
Right.
So they kind of shot themselves in the foot a couple times, and we weren't able to take advantage of it. But kind of surprised at some of the penalties they had.
Yeah.
Especially going into halftime, we had one right there, unsportsmanship.
Unsportsmanlike conduct.
And and it was right there at the end of the half at the buzzer, and kind of surprised to see that.
Well, you would think with a lead like that they wouldn't. I mean, and when I'm on the field, that's what I tell them. If you're a champion, play like a champion, and if you got a lead like that, you've already done your talking.
That's
it's
right.
On the scoreboard.
It's on the scoreboard.
That's right. So you don't have to say anything else.
That's right. That's right.
But
play ball and hush.
But there again, kids see it on TV on Saturdays and Sundays and think that they can get away with it too.
That's right. And that's exactly right.
Thank goodness for Coach Reed, because he ain't going to let you do it.
No, no. He will call you out on it.
He will call you out. That's right. So how do you think? Well, let me. I guess it's a two-sided question. It's kind of a second quarter question, but I'm gonna go ahead and throw it in now. How do you think Valdosta, if they make the playoffs, because they're still on the outside looking in?
They really are, Randy. They've only got that one region win.
That's right. Do you think if they make it, and I feel like they're going to sneak in there, man. I don't know why. I think they will, but do you think they can make some noise? Because it'll probably be that number 4 slot.
It'll be that number 4 seed, and I really hadn't looked at that far ahead. It depends on how the playoffs really line up, what bracket they wind up in, and who's in that bracket. I'm like you. I think they probably will slip in. Who knows? We may have a couple teams from South Georgia heads up in the dome.
Who knows, man? It's going to be a lot going on. So, I guess we're going to forget about the Valdosta game and end up in the first quarter here. We'll roll into the second quarter here after our water break. There's the whistle. You know what I was looking for. So, anyways, in the second quarter, we always wrap up what's going on in the previous week in our region. A couple of games. Camden was off this week. Obviously,
right.
We played Valdosta.
Right.
But Lowndes beat Coffee 31-29, and Colquitt beat Brunswick 44-26.
Right.
I don't think there's any surprises there, but man, there almost was.
There almost was, and I think Lowndes had a pretty good scare.
Yeah, well, they were down. They were up pretty big going into the fourth quarter.
That's exactly right.
And they struggled to get back into contention.
Right,
so
that's exactly right. But Randy, you kind of seen that from time to time with Lowndes. They'll be up big, and then somebody kind of comes back on, and they've lost a couple games that way in the past.
Well, when you think of big play offenses, you think of like Colquitt's offense.
Right.
You know, they can one pass and they can win a game.
That's right. That's right.
Lowndes is not that way, but they can run the football so well that they can have a big play on the ground, which is kind of unheard of. But in high school football, it's more feasible, and you see it a little more. So they have had that big play capability over the years, and I think they've lost it a little bit.
They have.
Don't get me wrong; they're still a quality football team, and their record shows it.
That's right. I mean, they're still undefeated on the season.
Yeah, they're undefeated, and but they're beatable. Because they're not going to put up a whole lot of points on the board.
They're not.
They're going to play good defense.
They're going to play good defense, and like you say, a good, solid ground game. And we're going to put some points on the board, but like you say, they're not going to put it out of touch.
That's right. And Coffee kind of proved that this week.
That's right.
Again, down 24-7, I think. 30 was it 30? No, 24 because it was 31-29.
Right.
24-7, and Coffee, stormed back.
That's right. That's exactly right.
And like with 40 seconds left, put it in the field goal's reach and just came up a little short.
Short. That's right.
If they would have done something in the 3 previous quarters, they might have jumped out and shocked the world.
That's exactly right.
And set themselves up to be the number 2 seed in this region.
In the region, that's right.
And getting a home playoff game. And I mean, there's all kinds of stipulations, but kudos to Coffee. They're that sleeper team again. We've talked about them so far this year.
That's right. Yeah.
They're really solid.
They're
Coach
solid.
Pruitt's doing a good job.
He is doing a great job over there. Sure is.
I've got a buddy who lives over in Douglas, and I haven't seen him in a few weeks, and I can't wait to see him to see what the buzz is like over there in Coffee.
I'm sure they've got a buzz going. I'm sure.
Certainly, I'm sure they're pretty happy.
Oh yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Colquitt beat Brunswick 44-26, and nobody's talking about Colquitt either.
No, and not a surprise there, but 26 points by Brunswick, that was kind of a shock to me, especially against Colquitt County. I when I heard the score, I was kind of shocked at that.
A little shocked at that.
Yeah, I really kind of anticipated a shutout.
They could have been garbage points at the end of the game.
Well, you never can. But was Coach Prost down there? He's
going full throttle. His
feelings are hurt that somebody scored 26 points on his team.
Yeah, well, maybe he should be.
Well,
so
maybe so.
I mean, 44 points is a lot of points too.
It's a lot
they
of
scored
points.
a lot of points.
It's a lot of points. It is, but that interesting game, I'm sure.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. So, let's look at games coming up. Lowndes is 4-0 in region.
Right, that's right.
Camden's 3-0.
Right, that's right.
And this week, obviously, Lowndes is at Tift.
Right.
And Camden is at Brunswick. Wait, I messed that up. Yeah, they're
Camden is at Brunswick this week.
Camden's at home against Brunswick.
Right. Well, Camden and Brunswick play.
They play this week.
They're at home. They're both in the same neighborhood.
We feel good that Brunswick's going to get beat by Camden.
That's right.
And they're probably used to it by now. So
yeah, they've kind of been that whipping boy for Camden for a number of years.
For a few years.
That's right.
Yep. So, Colquitt this week in region is 2-1, 5-2 overall. They're at Valdosta, which is probably the best matchup I think in the region, and may have some of the biggest playoff implications because if Valdosta wins, it muddles everything up at the bottom.
At the bottom,
and if Colquitt wins, Valdosta's sitting at the back, back of the bus, waiting to move up.
That's right. That's exactly right. They depending on a lot of other folks at that point in time.
There's a ton of football left in this region, man. It's just unreal. So, Coffee's off. They probably need a break. Then they'll finish up at Colquitt and then at home against Valdosta.
Right.
And again, 2 big games with huge implications. So, Valdosta, as we said, has got Colquitt, Brunswick, Camden, and we've got Lowndes.
Lowndes, that's right.
So,
that's right.
Excuse me. Now, we talked about Lowndes. They got us. Next week, they've got Camden.
Yeah, they've only have 2 games left.
They've got 2 games left.
Right.
So that's a good spot for us, man. They might be looking ahead to Camden, not thinking of us.
I agree.
And, if I'm them, I don't know if I'm not looking over us either.
Well, certainly they're getting prepared for Camden because they know that's a big game.
That's right.
Both teams are sitting undefeated right now. And they certainly both are looking at that region championship and both want it. So
yeah, only one's going to leave with it.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
So that'll be interesting.
It will be.
And then Camden has Brunswick, Lowndes, and then Colquitt. So they're not out of the woods yet.
They're not. Lowndes game is going to be a tough game, and certainly that Colquitt County game is going to be a tough game.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to say the least.
Yeah.
And then you got Colquitt, who's got Valdosta. Then they got Coffee.
In both of those games, I tell you.
They got 3 doozies left, man. They got Valdosta, Coffee, and Camden.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and they could lose them 3.
Yeah.
And not
be
out.
They'd be out. That's exactly right.
And, I think, man, really, here's who I think is going to be sitting okay. That's Coffee. They're off this week. They have Colquitt and Valdosta.
Right.
I don't know if they're going to win both them games. I think they'll win
one
of
them.
I agree. They're going to win one of them.
I agree. They could win both of them.
Yeah, there's no doubt they can win both of them.
I think they're that good.
Me too. And then you got Valdosta. We got Coffee. I mean, we got Colquitt, Brunswick, and Coffee. I feel like they'll beat Brunswick.
Oh, yeah.
I think they're going to give Colquitt a run for the money this week.
Right.
And then who knows against Coffee, man.
That's right.
And then the two at the bottom is us and Brunswick.
Mm-hmm.
They've got Brunswick has Camden,
right,
Valdosta, and then us.
Right. Mm-hmm.
We've got Lowndes off and Brunswick.
That's
so
right.
Win, lose, or draw, we're off next week to prepare for Brunswick.
That's exactly right.
And we've talked about it. Lowndes, we think we play better against Lowndes than probably any team in the region.
We do. We've surprised Lowndes quite a few times.
Yeah, we've made them mad a couple of times. And,
that's exactly right.
We enjoy it.
Absolutely. We enjoy making anybody mad.
Yeah, we're not biased at all.
No, it doesn't really matter.
We love whipping in everybody.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
I asked you this last week and week before. What do you think the region's going to play out?
Well, I think Utah 2 is going.
You still think Camden?
I do. I really.
And you'll know more after watching Lowndes this week.
That's exactly right. I still think Camden. That number 2 slot. It's still kind of wide open there, and heck, every slot's open right now.
It's looking that way.
It really is. It
certainly is.
As we keep saying, there's still a lot of football left, even though we're getting close to the season. There's a lot of football left.
Well, let's look at some scenarios here, man, because right now you got Lowndes, Camden, Colquitt, Coffee.
Right.
That's your top 4.
That's right.
That's who, at the end of the day, that's who's in.
That's who's in.
Okay. Valdosta's 1 and 2.
Right.
Us and Brunswick 0 and 3 and 0 and 4.
Right.
Oh, excuse me. So.
Must have been dessert.
Yeah, it was. Coffee's sitting in the 4 slot because they have 2 losses right now, but Colquitt's got one less game than they do.
That's right.
So they're sitting in 2 and 1. Obviously, they'll meet up. Man, this is a tough region. I don't know what else to say.
And Randy, quite honestly, this afternoon I got to looking at this and I tried to, I was writing down some scenarios and different things, and I just put it away.
You can't do it. I mean,
I just put it away. There's just too much football left and too many ifs and ands.
Too many ifs, ands, and buts.
That's right.
So, anyways, Lowndes, Camden, Colquitt, Coffee, Valdosta, Brunswick, Tift County, and we're gonna bump up this week with a big win against Lowndes.
Absolutely,
so,
Lowndes. Sorry, but we're gonna whip up on you a little bit.
That's right. Don't be mad. Don't hate.
That's right. It's all a game.
That's right.
That's why you're gonna have to look at it after we beat you.
That's right. Well, that's gonna roll us up to halftime. So there's that whistle I love so much. So halftime, real quick. I just want to say one thing. It's my wife's birthday. I just want to say happy birthday, dear. I'm sorry I'm here doing my podcast, but
happy birthday.
I love you too. So, anyways, well, let's roll into our third quarter and we'll keep this ball rolling. What do you think? I'll tell you what. We're at halftime. Let's talk about the Touchdown Club while we're here.
That's right.
A good spot to talk about Touchdown Club.
Once again, Touchdown Club has become active again and trying to do a lot of good things. This season, I'll kind of touch on a little bit of what we've done. We've fed the kids every week, JV and varsity, and of course, we chartered buses for them to go to Camden to play football, and chartering buses for them to go to Brunswick to play football. So it's been nice to have some funds to be able to do that. Certainly, Dusty Cottle's the president of the Booster Club and has done a good job, and I want to give kudos out to him. If you're not a member, certainly would like for you to join. It's only $25 to join. And there's some other sponsorship levels, and we can certainly get you the details on that. But as we talked about earlier, football is kind of the catalyst for everything else, and we want to support these kids as much as we can. And one of the ways we need to support them is financially. It takes money to do this.
That's right.
And Coach Reed's got some big plans, and the Booster Club certainly wants to help him with those plans.
Well, certainly, Todd. They're having a raffle drawing
That's
also,
exactly
right?
Right. That's
Can you touch on that a little bit?
This Friday night, They'll be drawing for a golf cart and an enclosed trailer. Both items were donated, and tickets are $5. So, if you like some tickets, I've got some left, or I can get you some if I don't. And $5 get you a shot at a golf cart or a trailer, a nice enclosed trailer. And the drawing will be at the game this week. And you don't have to be present to win. And if we happen to draw Randy's name first, by the way, I need you to buy a ticket.
What?
If we happen to draw Randy's name first, he does get the choice of the cart or the trailer. And
now, you're the only person in the world my credit's good with.
I'll spot you $5.
You are the man.
As long as you owe me $5, I'll never be broke.
Well, I don't know about that.
but love for y'all to buy some tickets for that. And once again, that goes to support our kids. That's what it's all about, supporting our kids.
That's right. If you're interested in purchasing a raffle ticket, our Facebook address is at the bottom. Twitter handle is at the bottom, and just contact us that way,
right.
And we'll get you in touch with who you need to buy a ticket.
That's right.
And he can.
We'll take care of you.
He might even float you along, people. I'm just saying, he might. He's loaded. So, anyways,
wow,
that wraps up halftime. Go support our
let's
kids.
wrap it up real quick.
Go buy a raffle ticket. Let's support these kids and continue this good work that's going on up there at Tiff County High School. So, starting the third quarter, we go into a player spotlight.
Right.
And we want you guys to obviously go to our Facebook page, nominate a kid for the player spotlight. We will get in contact with you and get information, pictures, video, summaries, that kind of stuff. And we'll get all that information, put it on here in the World Wide Web for everyone in the world to see.
Well, and once again, it's about the kids, Randy. And
That's
that's what we're
exactly
trying to
right.
do, promote these kids. And we need your help. Please go out there and nominate someone.
That's right. So we didn't have anybody this week.
We didn't.
But what we did is we're going retro. We're taking it back. This week's Devils Lair Player Spotlight is going to go to Larry Dean. And Larry Dean is a linebacker, special teams artist in the NFL right now.
That's right. Proud of Larry Dean, Tiff County product there. And I tell you what, when you see one of the kids that come through your program and playing on that level, I mean, you got to get excited about that.
Certainly. Larry's a former Tiff County Blue Devil, and he's got a chance to play in the Pro Bowl this year.
That's right.
Which is the All-Star games, so to speak, for the NFL.
The NFL, right.
And that's in Hawaii. And, man, that is such an honor, man. That is just, you're the cream of the crop.
Cream of the crop. That's exactly right.
And this guy's from Tiff County.
Right.
He played on our field and played in our rec leagues, and he comes from a good family.
That's right.
And he's a good person, and we need to support this guy. So I believe you can go to NFL.com and vote,
right.
because he's up for vote, and he's a special team player.
Right.
So he's one of 8 teams that's listed in special teams category in an online ballot. The players with the most vote obviously will make the trip to Hawaii.
Right.
So tell everybody about it. Find it, share it on Facebook and all your other social medias, and let's get him voted onto this game.
That's right.
This team, and give us a reason to watch the Pro Bowl. I don't watch the Pro Bowl.
I know,
but I will if he makes it. I'll be glued to it.
That's
so
exactly right. And for a guy to make the NFL, that's an honor within itself. But then to be nominated for the Pro Bowl, that's even a greater honor.
It is. Dean played in 16 games last year for the Vikings. All of them on special teams. He's played in some other spots too, but mostly special teams. He's that good of a special teamer, obviously. So this year he is making some strides, and he has 7 total tackles on special teams, and that's the most on that squad. So not only is he making tackles, but he's a blocker on the other side of it. He's blocked for kickoffs and punt returns, and he's helped his teammates get some extra yardage when it's counted, and his blocking ability is just phenomenal. He's moved up the record book, and he's been a part of probably one of the best things I've ever seen, the best spectacle I've ever seen in Minnesota football. Now they're 5-1 going into this week. the Vikings are. So
Right.
they're having a really good
They are.
season.
That's exactly right.
But on September 30th, the Vikings were they beat Detroit Lions, which is a division rival, 20-13. And in this game, there was a 105-yard kickoff return for a touchdown by the University of Florida's Percy Harvin.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna pause so everybody can boo for him. Okay, now I'm gonna talk again. And there was another score by Marcus Sherrills on a 77-yard punt return, and Larry Dean was on the field for both of those. And special teams is something that can really get a crowd pumped up.
Oh,
man.
gosh, yeah.
Whether it's a big tackle or a tackle for loss or a run back, that
Huge
kind of
run
stuff.
back, that's exactly right.
That's right, man. It can get a crowd pumped up and change momentum quickly. So
that can be a game changer.
yeah, definitely. So
And how many times you've seen it be a game changer?
yeah, tons.
That's right.
It's very important, and sometimes it's overshadowed by everything else going on. So,
special teams sometimes they're overlooked. People just don't give them credit they deserve it sometimes.
that's right. Larry Dean went to Valdosta State. He's
Right.
no stranger to success.
Mm-hmm.
He at VSU he broke ex-Atlanta Falcon Jesse Tuggle's all-time tackles record, and that's saying something, man. Jesse Tuggle was one of the best linebackers playing the game at the NFL level, and obviously at the college level too. And both these cats come out of Valdosta State, so big kudos and big ups to Larry, and he is our Player of the Week for episode 3, and we urge you to go vote for Larry in the Pro Bowl. So you can Google it and all that kind of good stuff and get to it. So vote him in there, and let's support our guy who's left us, and I guarantee he'll support us.
Absolutely.
So, anyways, well, that wraps up 3.
There it is.
We're in the fourth quarter. We're going to try to hold this lead. Unlike Lounge tried to do last week. They tried to give it up a little bit. We're going to try to hold on to it.
We're not going to give it up.
We're not. So the fourth quarter I've titled Sinking the Vikings.
Sinking the Vikings. I love it.
Because we're previewing this week's game.
I love it.
And we're going to put a hole in the butt of them Vikings. And
we got our cannons ready.
Thank goodness it's here and not down there.
I agree.
And we don't have to hear their PA announcers.
I don't know how many folks are probably thankful for that. Not only me, but everybody else that lives in Tiff County.
I know, man. I know. So we're going
to move them chains one day. We're going to move them somewhere out of the state, I believe.
Yeah. Maybe he'll get moved. That was ugly. I apologize. That wasn't right. So
yeah, it was.
It wasn't wrong either. But Tiff County gets a visit from the Vikings, and they always, we hit on it earlier, man. They have a good running game and good defense.
Right. That's right.
And obviously some pretty solid special teams.
They do.
The kid who's played 8 games kicking the football for him down there and winning Wintersville's Classics.
That's right. That's exactly right. And,
so
that was huge for him, and certainly glad to see that happen for that kid, though.
I agree. What do you think about this week's game?
I don't know that Lowndes is going to bring the balanced offense that Valdosta did to Tiff County. I think they're going to be more of a ground attack. They typically are. We've done pretty good against that this year. Probably more so than the air attack. So I think our defense is going to fare pretty good, well against them. Defensively, I really hadn't seen Lowndes play this year. I don't know how they stack up. Of course, Rashad Daniels. I hope he has another great game. I suspect Coach Reed has made some more changes again this week. I don't know what they may be, but I suspect he has. So I think these kids have worked hard. As if I understand, they've had a good week of practice again. I mean, every week they've had a good week of practice, and every week they go into the game anticipating to win. They never go into a game expecting to lose. So this is going to be the week.
This is the week. I like it. I like our chances. More so this week than any previous week,
Yeah, I agree.
Lowndes was outgained by Coffee last week, 307 yards to 278 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. Of Lowndes' 278 yards of offense, 208 of it came on the ground.
Right.
So, maybe we can stop it. Now, that's the one thing that scares me is we are going to get in there and be so focused on the ground game, they'll throw it over the top of us.
They will.
They're going to.
Well, they're going to keep you honest.
They certainly are.
They're going to do that.
They might not throw but 4 times a game, but then 4 are pretty.
That's exactly
they'll catch you off guard a little bit.
Right.
So,
and that's what wins games sometimes.
I agree. I totally agree. So another big thing, I think our punting is going to have a lot to do with it this week.
Well, it may.
If we can pin them down deep, we can play good enough defense
right.
to get the ball
That's
back
exactly
and
right.
not have to go the length of the
That's
field. Right. We can set ourselves up to put us, in some scoring positions
right.
and whatnot.
Well,
so,
last week we were actually able to, get good field position one time on a punt. We punted the ball, and a kid from Valdosta actually fumbled it, so we were able to recover. So, we wound up with some pretty good field position. And, we faked one punt last week that looked good. Unfortunately, ball didn't get caught. But
yeah, well, maybe it gets caught this week.
That's exactly right. So, I look for Coach Reed to maybe have another trick or two up his sleeve, and we'll be prepared.
Yeah, we will. I'm sure we will. So, what you got?
Well, one other thing I actually was going to touch on, I've been meaning to, our other two shows, is, injuries this season. We've been very fortunate this year. I think right now we've only got
knock on wood.
We've only got a couple kids banged up, one of them being Stephen Waters, and I don't know that he'll get any playing time again this week. He kind of rolled his ankle up a couple weeks ago and been out a little bit, but that's been a big plus for us this season compared to some previous seasons. We're pretty well injury free.
Yeah. His daddy's tore up about it. Stephen's daddy.
He is. He's kind of.
It's killing him, man.
It is. He's kind of down in the dumps about it. And Chris, we love you. We love Stephen, and he'll be back.
Chris, if I could get my arms around you, buddy, I'd give you a big hug. But come on now. So, and if you know Chris, that's right. A joke.
That's right.
We love him to death.
That's exactly right.
We love him like a fat kid loves cake. So, we have been lucky with some injuries where a lot of people have had some nicks and dings and stuff like that. Conditioning's key.
That's right.
In this league and at this time of year especially.
Oh, yeah, to be this late in the season and be as fortunate as we are, that tells you about something. It tells you something about how hard we've worked and conditioning wise.
Exactly. That fourth spot is just dangling out there.
Yeah.
And it's dangling. It's out there for us. It's out there for everybody, man. There's a lot of football left, and a lot of things can happen.
That's right.
And the little proverbial carrot's just dangling.
Just dangling. That's right.
Somebody's got to get up there and grab it.
Somebody's going to. May as well
and eat it up because
right.
it's there. So
there.
We've got to get out to the Brody this weekend and support these kids on Friday night.
That's right.
And we
need another big crowd.
Another big crowd because
need a crowd to get excited one game.
That's right. That's exactly right. I got a couple of keys to the game. I just want to point out what I think will help us, achieve victory this weekend. And it's from me. Take it for what it's worth. I'm an idiot who is fortunate enough to sit here in front of a camera and talk to y'all. So
you already owe me $5 for it.
I can't be down anymore. So anyway, Rashad Daniels, keys to the game. Rashad Daniels has to tote the rock, and we know that. We talked about that. He's going to. He's got to protect the ball, and obviously he can't lay it down because we had a chance to keep it close in the first half, and we fumbled the ball. We didn't. So obviously he's going to learn from his mistakes.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But what we have to do as a community and as fan base, we have to learn from him too.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And he's not going to do that every week.
No.
So stay positive. This kid's he's going to be all right. He's going to be fine, and he's going to take the rock this weekend.
That's right.
The O-line has to protect because Rashad Daniels is going to run the football, and he's going to run it well this week. Well, we've got to protect when we decide to throw the ball.
Right.
And and that piggybacks off to something else. That's wide receivers catching the football. You don't have to catch every one of them.
No.
If we can catch just enough, somebody's got to make that big play.
That's right.
And somebody's got to step up. And somebody's got to want to make that play. And this is the weekend for that.
Right. You got a kid that's 20, 30 yards downfield, wide open. You got to make those. You got to make those.
Yep. And on the defensive side of the ball, we got to play third down defense.
Right. That's right.
We got to stop them on third down to give ourselves a chance to get the ball back.
That's right. And we did that a little bit last week with Valdosta. We stepped up and we're able to force them to punt a couple times. So
that's right. That's exactly right. So that and our defense has to play every down. And it's that one time where we slip up and let them throw it over the top of us.
That's right.
That's going to just take all the wind out of ourselves.
Exactly right.
Those are my keys to the game, and I feel like if we stay on track doing this stuff, that we have a chance to definitely win this football game. And I promise you, one thing is I 100% guarantee that if we have more points on the board by the time they do at the end of the game, we'll win that football game.
We'll win that football game.
I guarantee it.
You know,
so,
and right now that ball game's a tie game.
It is tied up right now, brother. So, a lot going on. Get out, get to the stadium, get to the Brody. We're going to try to wrap this thing up here in just a second. And you got any closing remarks or anything?
Well, you know, I encourage everybody to please come out, support these kids. That's what it's about, supporting these kids. That's why we're doing this show, is support these kids. And, you know, the bigger the crowd, the better they play.
Bigger the crowd, the better they play. Sounds good to me. So, anyways.
Anything else?
No. Go Blue, man. It's all about the T. Let's go get after it Friday night and bring a friend to the game tonight. Or Friday night. And
bring a friend. Have fun. I mean, that's what it is. Come on, have fun. You know, you can stand up and holler and cheer. Nobody's going to make fun of you.
That's exactly right. Nobody's going to make fun of you. Student section, get up and get live.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Because when we go down there to the lounge, they act the fool.
They do. Man, that's a loud place.
And nobody has a problem with it.
No, that's right.
So let's return to favor this week. Go out there and get after it. Go Big Blue. And it's all about the T.
All about the T.
All right.
Go Big Blue.
That's the end of the game. Game over. We can blow the horn. Ball game. Did you extend the horn?
I think the game's over.
I'm gonna have to shave again. My goodness. Anyways, the game is sure enough over. We're out of here. It's the Devils Lair. Again, follow us Facebook, Twitter, phone number 313-718-2557. Leave us any comments. Chance to sponsor the show. Get your name up here. You know, the Todd Gann first quarter, the Todd Gann Player Spotlight. It all flows well. Give us a call.
Randy Meadows Rundown.
The Randy Meadows Rundown. You know, we'd love to have you in here.
That's right.
So, anyways, for the Devils Lair, I'm Randy Meadows.
I'm Todd Gann.
And we'll see you next week.
Go Big Blue.
This has been a presentation of the Anero Media Network. Your reality distorted.